In today's video, I'm going to be surviving 100 days on a hardcore stranded island in the middle of nowhere. Can I survive till the end? There's going to be 3 main goals in place. Maxed gear, killing a wither, and the best for last, killing the enderdragon, beating the game. So yeah, stick around, you'll definitely enjoy it. It was a wild ride. Oh man, chilling on an airplane after beating 100 days duos, there's just nothing better.
Attention all passengers, this is Captain speaking. We have a bit of a turbulence, but nothing major.
Well, that's good that it was nothing major yet. What the hell? What happened? Where am I? Brother. What am I gonna do? Well, get started on mining trees, of course. So once I chopped loads of trees, got started making my basic tools. And then I grabbed some stone, dug myself in a little hidey hole. You know, I wanted to really embrace my gnome heritage. Also got started on my little potential farm. And well, I mean, the plane's not going anywhere clearly, so I had to make some use out of it. Since it was getting pretty late out, I decided to dig down, and then my pickaxe broke. So I had to cut my trip off a little short. Also wanted to light up the area, make it a little safer, but then I saw a creeper and got scared. So as day 2 rolled around, made some staircases upwards, also made another pickaxe, and just got straight back to work on my mine, because I really need iron right now, but I ran into a bit of an issue. And that issue actually caused me to get some iron, so it's kind of worth it. But I kept forgetting to breathe, so I had to pull out the old torch strat. Also used some of those sheep on the island to make a bed. Nice and cozy. I wanted to clear out the island a bit. Kind of do my own thing. So I ended up just mining pretty much all the trees. But there weren't that many. So once I finished up, I went back to lighting up the island because I really did not want any mobs to spawn. Hey, real quick, hit that little like and subscribe button because it really helps me out and motivates me to keep doing this if you like this content. And I got my first night of sleep. Day 3, there really wasn't much to eat on the island, so I kind of had to resort to the old ways of island living, just killing a bunch of fish. Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. And this is not the first time I'm going to have to do this. Went back to the little farm, I got some wheat from it. Also planted the seeds back. With that wheat, I was able to lure a bunch of cows and a bunch of sheep, aka the only ones on the island. There was only 4. Got them right on track to get some offspring in the area so we can populate the island a bit more. Day 4, I didn't really like the way the back of that island looked, so I took matters into my own hands and just changed it up a bit. Also, while I was down working on the mine, I definitely almost did not drown. Yeah, that was a close call. Got onto 4 hearts. My plan was to use leaves to clear out the mine, but that didn't work out, so I just scrapped that idea and went to go mine the plane. Outside of the house, it's looking kind of nice right so far. Made a little efficient tree farm since I didn't really want to plant them all over the island, just have to go kill all the trees. I could just go in one area and get it done easy. Day 5 was pretty much spent entirely inside of the mine. I was just digging all day. Embraced my dwarven gnome roots, you could say. Found some lapis though. Do gnomes even dig holes? Eventually I stumbled upon a cave with a mine shaft in it and got some iron out of that though. But I got kind of scared, so I went back to go place more stairs. Led into a nice big cave down at the bottom, though. Day 6, got some iron right in front of the mine, and then my pickaxe broke. So I made another one of those, placed more stairs, and I went a little deeper into the mine, but then I got kind of attacked. Went ahead and grabbed all that wheat, and also made a bit of a farm expansion, you could say. Day 7 was back in the mines. I found my first diamond, though. Also got some more iron. And then that skeleton came back for round 2. I thought I could take him. Yeah, I could not take him. I ran the hell out of there and killed more fish. But with my iron chest plate, I felt a little more confident, so I went a little deeper. Was actually able to find a decent amount of iron. So with that iron, I had to make some more gear out of it. Got some leggings, some pickaxes, and an axe. And I finally was able to mine all those trees I planted earlier. Day 9, I went back to breeding the cows. Also, you guessed it, straight back in the caves, once I made some gear. And once again, I found myself in a very sticky situation. There was about 150 zombies and 3 skeletons after me, so I just hid. Do you guys see how many zombies there are? Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Once I escaped that, I had to get more fish because I pretty much used it all fighting those zombies. Also grabbed some kelp because I wanted to get it for fuel. And I grabbed a lot of kelp. It's also a part-time food source. Day 11 was down in the mines. Now that I finally had some gear, I went back to lighten up the place because there was just a ridiculous amount of mobs all the time. I ended up finding a substantial amount of diamonds though. On day 12, I'm just let y'all watch this next clip. Yeah, that creeper was so uncalled for. Bro just hopped in front of my face. I don't know how I didn't die. Pretty much just mined more obsidian and diamonds the rest of the day. I didn't do all that much. Day 13, I ran into a bit of a problem. See, the island had no sugarcane, and there is no other islands. We'll find a way though. I got something in mind. Lots of cows though. On day 14, what am I doing with that flint, you ask? I am doing something stupid. I'm going to the nether. But I'm not that stupid, okay? I made some gear beforehand, because I'm not trying to die in the nether. I had a really sucky spawn. But then I ran into a bit of an issue. See, the portal teleported me into the middle of nowhere. But it gave me some diamonds. So once I made it back to my island, I was finally able to install a mod that made the portal work. And it did. So on day 15, I made sure to head straight back to the nether, and it took me a while to bridge somewhere there was nice. I was bridging for a good 5 minutes before I found anything. I did end up grabbing some glowstone though. That was pretty useful. Yeah, I did just break my pickaxe on glowstone. Eventually I reached a wall, so I just decided to mine through it since there was no going around it. And on the other side, there was just a bastion. So I started bridging over to that too. Traded with my main man, the Poglin, and went up to the treasure chest and found a netherite smithing template. That was a pretty crazy pull. On day 16, there was also a little blue biome over here with lots of endermen. And in case you don't know where I'm going with this, I need ender pearls and blaze rods. And you might be wondering, why am I getting all this stuff so early? And you'll see. So on day 17, I accidentally hit a pigman. That was an accident, but I just farmed more blaze rods. These guys were putting up a fight though. Every single blaze I had to kill would hit me at least once. Once I had enough blaze rods, I went back to killing some endermen, grabbing some ender pearls. I also reached level 30 in here, so if I had an enchanting table, it would be pretty nice right now. Once I was finally home on day 18, you guessed it, if you didn't beforehand, I'm going to the end fortress on day 18. This was quite the journey though. I pretty much spent the whole day traveling there and digging down. But even if I was going to the end, I would have needed 12 pearls, which is crazy. There we are. Yeah, if you couldn't tell, I just wanted bookcases. Who needs sugarcane if I can just get 8 stacks of bookcases? But I had what I needed, so I left. Well, tried to. I got lost. So on day 20, once I finally made it out, I headed all the way 1,000 blocks back home. It was quite the journey to get out there, but it was well worth it. Well worth it. I also know where it's at for later. So I got straight to enchanting and ended up getting a Luton 2 sword. Not bad. So I don't need to rely on fish anymore. I can finally eat some cows. What's up, bro? You just don't go to the nether. Oh. Why'd bro ditch me like that? My kelp was all smelted, so I went back and smelted it again. I grabbed a lot more this time. I ended up building a little platform for maybe zombie villagers to spawn, but I gave up on that. Day 22, made a grindstone to help with enchanting. Also got the fortune enchant.
There we go.
But I needed levels for it, so I went to the nether and grabbed a bunch of quartz.
In the lava again, feels like all the things I've just been through. Won't believe a word when I tell you know what's through the nether. You know what's through the nether. You know what's through the nether. Can't believe I lost my new ear too. Think I better come and rejoin. You know what's through the nether. You know what's through the nether. You know what's through the nether.
That's it. I'm sick of this place. It sucks. It's too hot. It never rains. I'm sweaty. All my clothes are dirty, filthy, and on fire. Bye. With my new Fortune 3 pickaxe, I went straight into the mine because I needed a lot of ore. So I went around grabbing iron, diamonds, pretty much every single thing I saw. Also came up with a cool way of dealing with creepers. On day 24, while I was in the mines, I found something interesting. Now, zombie spawners are very useful, but you know what's even more useful? 2 zombie spawners.
What the hell?
So this could be very beneficial. If I'm able to get a joint spawner set up, that's going to generate so much experience. But first I had to check to see if they were even close enough to build the spawners. On day 25, while I was digging out the path to the spawners, I actually found a lot of diamonds. I also got to work on making an elevator because I needed a way down to these spawners and I didn't really feel like taking a ladder 100 blocks down. On day 26, I dug straight down to the elevator. I also ran into a bit of a mine shaft. I just blocked that straight up. Explored it a little bit, but not too far. Yeah, these spawners were quite deep down in the ground. This is going to be a pain in my now. It was also a huge pain to get back up in the first place because this water kept going so slow. It gets slower, don't worry. Once I finally made it to the top, I had an idea. I needed sand, though. So I grabbed some sand, accidentally made half my island collapse, but small price to pay. Day 27, I actually enchanted another Fortune 3 pickaxe. I already have one, but I did need efficiency 5, so I did combine them eventually. My idea was I kind of wanted a little glass path in between both elevators to make it a cool little see-through design. And yeah, like I said, this took so long. This water was not cooperating. I did unfortunately run out of glass, so I had to grab some more sand. Now with everything placed and ready to go, I started up on the kelp elevator. And I ran out of kelp, so on day 28, I had to grab a lot more. And I really should have gone back for my boat. This took so long to grab it by hand. But after a while, I finally got all the kelp placed. The final step was just to break it all. I also made an up and down sign because, I don't know. Did try and enchant my axe. I got a really sucky enchant though. But I guess it's not going to break as fast, even though I wasn't really worried about that. Also wanted to expand my tree farm a bit because it was giving them a decent amount, but not as much as I wanted. Also made a little platform up. Day 29, now that we had the elevator up and running to go, I had to actually make sure if these guys were compatible together. So I had to make sure both lights were on while I was looking at both of them. If I could visually confirm they were both in reach of each other, I could make a little farm at that exact location. And after a long time digging, I finally found the exact spot for both of them. Thank goodness. On day 30 though, like I tried to craft something, I couldn't remember how.
You get online and the world forms round you. It's been a while, haven't played since point 2. You break a smile cause you've almost forgot how to mine. It's just been such a long time, and every time you're denied. With all the crafting recipes you've tried, I'm sure it's ingots with some leather hide. But now the wiki page is loading slow.
Once I managed to get all the blocks dug out, I needed a way to get the zombies into their actual spot where I can kill them all. And to do this, I pretty much used the same exact tactic as my elevator that I was using. And I took out the lights. It was all ready to go. Now I just have to do the other one. They were already spawning pretty good. Didn't take me quite as long to dig out this area because I already had the rest of the path built. All I really needed was just a drop down into the area. And once it was finally done, had to remove the torches, and as you can see, it spawns really well. It's going to be very useful later on. After mining all that blocks, my pickaxe definitely needed a bit of a fixer-upper. But I still had a lot more to mine because I wanted this area to look pretty nice. Ended up using all those quartz that I mined earlier though. Went for a bit of a quartz deep slate design because I had an abundance of both. That's really the only reason why I went for this design. Bruh. On day 34, that elevator down was taking way too long for my taste, so I ended up just filling it up completely with sand so I could just drop down into a water block. Once that was finished, I didn't really like the idea of having torches down here, so I ended up just replacing all the walls with glowstone. I had an abundance of that as well. And then I just grinded experience. Did that for most of day 35 as well, though. Once I headed back up, my trees were all ready to go. These trees were mining much quicker with a diamond axe, though. Ended up enchanting a fishing pole and got a decent trade. I felt like the animals were being a little neglected over time. They've been trapped in that little pen for the past, 35 days? I felt bad. They definitely needed an upgrade. They were my main source of food, main source of blocks as well for sheep. Day 36, I wanted to expand my real estate property. You know, I needed a beachfront view because why we're on the beach. Why do we not have a beachfront view in front of your house? I had a cute little umbrella with some lawn chairs. Yo, what's up, my boy Steve? Just chilling on the beach, you know? Little waterside property going on. What's up, Steve? All I have is you, Steve. I miss people. Oh, man. Me and Steve are feeling great right now, bro. Yeah, I don't really know what that was. This island's kind of making me lose my mind a little bit. I ended up clearing out more of the main base area. Also dug out a lot of that plain because I really didn't have any use for it just being there looking ugly, so I wanted the blocks. With efficiency 5, it went much quicker than my old previous iron pickaxe. So, it didn't take all that long. Day 38, I ended up making a bit of a blast furnace area because I really only had 2 furnaces and I had enough iron by now, so I ended up just making a blast furnace. And then I went and farmed more cow. So yummy in my tummy. I wanted to fix up the interior of this because my base is pretty neglected. It's almost day 40 and I don't really have a full base interior yet. Kind of like the idea of these glowstone pillars off on the side. I ended up going with a lot of deep slate designs here because that's really all I have, guys. I only have those 2 blocks. Day 39, place some bookshelves down in the experience grinder. And an enchanting table, of course. Also ended up digging out a little fishing area to my left.
Chicken jockey!
Anyways, that little fishing area is coming along nicely. So, most of the time, I was just pretty much sitting down here fishing, grinding zombies in between. This double grinder is actually so helpful. I think I would have been here an extra 10 days. Day 41, I wasn't getting any treasure loot. I wasn't really sure why. I looked it up. It said it needed to be in a 5x5 area, but then I proceeded to do it in a 5x5 area. And guess what? I learned how to dual wield, but still no fishing loot. So if one of y'all in the comments can tell me why, I'd appreciate it. Also, a guard rod is hell expensive. Day 42 was quite uneventful. Pretty much just digging out the fishing hole, going back and forth, grinding mobs. I did learn how to dual wield, like I said, so that was pretty cool. I wasn't really gaining anything from fishing, though.
Ended up getting a nice old silk touch pickaxe, which I really appreciated.
That's pretty good. Okay.
Day 43. I got really bored at grinding experience, so I just went up. Started grabbing blocks for my house because I wanted a real house. I didn't want to live in a cave anymore. But my island wasn't really suitable for me, so I kind of had to make some changes to it. And I realized I would need a good shovel, which unfortunately I did not get while enchanting. Drop 3 though. Day 44, I ended up getting that good shovel I wanted. I also got my sword combined with that sharp 3. And I'm sorry, I have to bring it back. It was just too iconic in the first video while I was building my house.
Well, let me have a ruler and a saw and a board, I'll cut it. I'll climb up a ladder with a hammer and a nail, I'll nail it. We work so hard to build our house together.
Day 46, I ended up still working on the house. This is a large project. Ended up going with blue windows though. It was turning out pretty good. I like the design of it. It's a bit rustic, while also combined with some modern aspects. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, but once I got it finished, I went to the front, and yes, I do know it's off-centered. Yes, that was definitely intentional. Yes, I am not going to change it. And it turned out pretty good, though. Once I finished the house, I spent the rest of the day building all the chests, getting a little cozy in there, you know.
Home sweet home.
And I finally slept in my very own house. Day 48, with those newfound storage utilities, I went ahead and got them all organized, which took a long time of moving stuff back and forth, but in the end, it was pretty worth it. Somehow, over the past 48 days, I've managed to collect several double chests full of loot that it needed a better home. Also ended up getting my auto smelter moved over to the new house. Didn't really fit sideways, so I just kind of put it like that. Day 49, I grabbed more kelp because my kelp collection and addiction is ever increasing. Also went back to go mine those trees because they were primed and ready for all my tree destructions. Also, I just used a lot of wood on that house and I was running very low. Went back to go check on the cows. There's a lot of cows.
Bro, stop tearing up my lawn. Get out of here. Stop. Scram.
I ended up freeing the sheep because I felt bad. And I also made this cool little zombie guy above the zombie spawner so everyone will know exactly what the farm is for. Oh yeah, there's a good look at him. Beautiful. Now that I had everything ready to go, I made my house nice and cozy. Got a little bed set up. Also set up some bookshelf decor. Day 51 through 52 was pretty much just spent in the mines. I needed any and all resources. I was mainly looking for diamonds though, because my tools definitely need an upgrade. As you can see, I put in some steady strip mining work because I ran out of room in my cave. Like, I already explored pretty much everything that was in there. Although I did find one section, and I kind of got jumped by some mobs though. And they broke my shield, bro. I found some slimes later on in the mining trip, so slime balls for days, baby. What the hell? Back to the mines, day 53. Just more diamonds. I also found another slime, so I can get hella slime balls. I don't really need slime balls besides like one thing, but on day 54 with those slime balls, I did end up making a little redstone contraption to launch me outside of my base. Whee! I like the idea of this little pond area, so I started to clear it out because I wanted to make a kind of an oasis area, and the outline was coming along nicely. Oh yeah. Now this is the life right here. Along with that hot tub on day 55, I ended up clearing out this area because, again, it was looking a little empty, so I wanted kind of a windmill. Went for some wood, deep slate kind of thing. Although every time I went to build the front, I somehow misaligned it like 5 different times. So I had to keep breaking it and moving it, and it took like 2 days separately to get it finished.
Even on day 56, I still had to go back and move it once again because I'm just awful at building, apparently. Ended up changing the walls to stripped oak, though. Got the decorations up around it as well. Day 57, I was mining some obsidian because that portal was looking a little off. And I wanted a bigger portal. So I spent some of the day tearing down the old portal. Once that was done, I began working on the outline of the big portal. I wanted this thing to be at least 20 blocks tall and like 5 blocks wide. This is a large project here. Trying to get the blade right, but I really only have one question for you.
Do you like my sword, my diamond sword? You cannot afford my diamond sword. Even if you could, I have a patent. No one else can make a sword exactly this mana. Welcome to my mana. I can swing my sword. So whenever I get bored, I can swing my sword. I can swing my sword. Once I hit the floorboards, but I had it restored and it was expanded.
Day 59, to complete my sword, I went back in the nether and... What the hell? There's 4 sheep here. And a llama. But I ended up grabbing what I needed. I really just needed glowstone to finish the sword off. And it came out pretty nicely, if I do say so myself. I really like the way it turned out. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. That looks pretty tough. Now that is a nice sword.
But it was a write-off. Swinging is my business, and by that I mean swinging swords.
I also forgot to place down all those blocks in Fortunate from that mining trip earlier. And I ended up getting a pretty substantial amount. That's not bad. That's not bad. Stack 49. Day 60, I was kind of running out of things to do on the island. So I ended up going over back to the oasis and added some ducks. Oh yeah. Perfect aesthetic for this pond.
Quack, quack, quack. Quack, 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 quack. I'm gonna name you Daffy and you Daisy.
What the hell? Where did y'all come from? I haven't seen a pig on my island since I started. Bro? I actually needed the sheep to come through the portal, but they just would not go through for some reason. After the oasis, I needed something to do, so I ended up building a nice little trampoline, although I didn't have much slime from those slimes I killed earlier. Whee! Boing, 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 boing. Yes! No! Why? I kept trying for these nether sheep, but they just wouldn't go through. Oh my gosh. What the hell? They're multiplying! I was down in the experience grinder for quite some time, so on day 62, I got really sucky enchants. Day 63, though, I got a power 4 bow and 2 decent pickaxes. I'll be able to combine those into my God pickaxes now. God Silk Touch, God Fortune Pickaxe. Day 64, the only thing I really ended up getting was an efficiency 4 axe for mining all the trees outside. Day 65, I pulled a sharp 4 sword. That'll combine into a nice sword for me. Also, if you're curious how much rotten flesh I've gotten from this, a lot. Got some prop 4 leggings. That's a start for me. Day 66, I don't know why, but iron sword had looting 3, diamond sword had looting 2. I enchanted diamond sword anyways, and I also got a protection 4 helmet, God helmet, so that's pretty good. Day 67, my anvil broke, and I needed iron, so I went to the caves and got a decent bit of iron. With fortune, that's going to be very handy. Definitely at least 1 anvil worth. I ended up getting a couple stacks, threw those babies in the smelter. Day 68, it's finally time for me to get some netherite. Oh, snipe. Come on. Yes. Get cooked. Those gas never stood a chance against my might. I really struggled getting down to netherite level because there was like a ton of lava just below me. I had to clear out a lot.
Day 69 was spent entirely mining netherite. I was getting some of the worst luck I have ever gotten netherite mining in my entire life. It definitely lucked out later, but by the time day 70 rolled around, I had 3 pieces. Luckily, I found some more, so I at least had 1 ingot worth. But I had to leave because all my pickaxes are about to break. I ended up mining a lot of gold and nether quartz, though, in the meantime. So, I ended up mining all of this by the time I had 5 netherite. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Okay, this is what we ended up with. All my gear has been repaired, netherite, upgrade, 13 levels, 4.5 stacks of quartz. So my boy Steve over here. I found a trial chamber earlier while I was mining, so I was gearing up for some golden apples to go explore that thing. Egg launcher. Yeah, I cleared that thing pretty quick, but I ended up getting an ominous potion. That is going to make it a lot harder, but I did not have a shield. These guys had poison, so I needed to go back and grab that. And on day 73, I drank that ominous potion and headed back in for round 2. These guys were a lot stronger now. Day 74, I was finally able to grab some loot from these guys after battling so many people. Yeah, you see this right here? I should not have thrown that out. Well, after I was done with that, I got a little bored and started just mining some stone. Day 75, yep, I came all the way back down here because I didn't have any string and I needed to make a loom, which I've never actually made before. And I wanted to put a design on top of my banner and it's pretty cool. Had to put it up on its perch. Oh my gosh, it's so off-centered. Also wanted to add on to the beach theme, so I ended up making a little outpost and bar area. Day 76, the bar was coming on very nicely. I ended up going for a campfire leaf kind of roof, although it was kind of a pain to put out all the fires. I even made a little seating area. Also moved Steve to be the bartender. Alright, I see you. Day 77, finally dealing with the rest of that plane. I wanted to keep the front at least kind of there, just as a remembrance for all those villager lives that lost, the villager pilot, all those non-existent passengers on board. So I spruced the place up a bit, added some lanterns on it, made a gazebo. The gazebo turned out nice, so I ended up making some seating areas on the beach, because what's a beach without seating areas? Added 4 separate chairs, although I'm the only person on this island. 4 people are not sitting here. I had an extra stack of steak in my chest as well, so I ended up letting all the mobs go because I felt bad. They were just trapped in the cage, and if they want to go to the nether and join the other nether mobs, they can. Day 78, I got to working on a volleyball court. That's right, a volleyball court, because I thought this area looked a little empty, and I kind of wanted to light up my whole island, so I just added a volleyball court. But first, it took a lot of digging and a lot of placing sand. I also kept getting the measurements wrong, and I had to replace them like 5 different times, as you can see. Yeah, I'm not very good with measurements, if you couldn't tell. I had a little glowstone players, Steve's family. Had to give them all their own face. Day 79, I made this nice little bridge to go across. Anyways, made some smithing templates for my armor. Had to get 4 in total. And it was back to netherite mining. Thankfully, I got substantially more lucky than my last several days. My luck finally started to turn up. I actually started to gain like a lot of netherite. At least a full set worth. And then a lot more tools worth. Yeah, I was in here for quite a while. Once I suckled out all the teat of the netherite. What? Yeah, I ended up like... But while I was in here on day 83, I also had to do the next steps of this. I needed more ender eyes, because I needed 12 for the portal. And I also needed wither skulls and more blaze rods. This wasn't too hard to do. I already knew where all the locations are. All I had to do was just go back to them. But, I don't think you understood when I said my luck turned up. Oh, no way! Oh! Oh, what the hell? Do I have looting 10 on here? Took me half an hour. Yeah, both those skeletons were within 3 minutes of each other. I managed to get so lucky initially. Although my luck sort of wore off. Until day 84, when I was grinding some blazes and some more of these guys. No shot. 3 already? Yeah, I managed to get all 3 of those within 20 minutes. It took me half an hour for 3 skulls in duos. So while I was waiting for everything to spawn, I ended up just grabbing a crap ton of nether brick. Bro. Nah, what? Well, they give me a 4th skull. I guess I gotta fight 2 withers. Bro. And as you can see, I'm not like cheating. Like, these are spawns. I've killed several of these guys. But it's just how fast I'm getting them. Oh. So yeah, 2 withers requires at least 8 soul sand, and I didn't have any, so I had to run back, go grab some before I fought this guy. Also grab some more glowstone, because I finished way faster than I thought I would. Day 86 got a nice little power 4 infinity bow to make a power 5. Also ended up getting my chest plate enchanted, new one with prop 4. Those guys in the nether did a crap ton of damage to my armor. I had to repair it all before I put netherite on it. And I ended up getting 7 bars of netherite, which is the most amount I've gotten in a long time. So I ended up just putting it on my gear. Now, with my max tools out of the way, I really only had 2 goals left. I needed to kill wither. Well, no, 2 withers, might as well. And finally, I gotta kill the enderdragon, which should be a breeze with this gear. Added some green trim to it though, because it looked cool. Oh yeah, now this is tough. Get out! Had to make an anvil to combine all my gear. Make that nice little power 5 bow. That's gonna do some serious damage to those bosses. Of course, I had to name it the Dragon Slayer. I also moved this sheep inside because he was the only sheep on my island by now. All the other ones were in the nether and I felt bad. And finally, to end off day 86, I had to mine those trees with my new netherite axe. It went so fast. Day 87, just like the last world, I had to connect all the things together because by now I had built a ton of things, but I had no paths between any of them. Kind of made my main man, little zombie guy, the center of town, so whenever you walk in through a path, you're gonna go by baby zombie. Headed over to Steve's bar, made him a road as well. Day 88, I had to make sure all the base was connected, so I finished where I started, my first house. And to kill some time, I ended up making a load of lamp posts all over the island. Kind of like the idea of using these glowstones with some trapdoors around them as more or less just lamp poles. I definitely prefer these over the torches I had prior. And with the paths and the lampposts connecting everything together, the island is turning out really, really well. Day 89 had to move my mascot over so it would look a little better. Didn't do much with him, just flipped him around. Thought he looked a little better facing the beach. Gotta add his little hands back though, you know. Now with all the builds on the outside of the island, it was time to focus on the inside of my house because I really have not done all too much with that. So I started off with the floor, went for a stone brick, nether brick type thing, moved my bed up there. Added a lot more of a bed frame in with the bed as well. And I needed more wool for more builds, so I kind of just gave them in a patch of grass. I did end up finishing the upstairs. It looked pretty nice. Added some bookshelves for aesthetic. You know, I really needed a lounge area, somewhere to chillax. So I had a couple paintings. I made an armor stand to put up all my gear and finally took my first night's sleep in my new bed. Day 91, I had big plans. I was getting ready to fight the Wither, getting all my preparations in order. Decided to make a couple more golden apples to help me with my fight. I also put my banner on my shield just for aesthetics. I started fixing up the outside of my island. When I come back from that wither, I want my island to look beautiful. And beautiful it does. Day 92, it's time. I went to the nether, started placing some platforms, getting ready to kick this wither's booty. And I was filling in this hole because I really did not want to fall in a hole fighting the wither. That wither sure did make a mess. To fight the second one, I needed to patch up these holes beforehand, and it pretty much took all day of patching up these holes. Along with fighting the wither, it took a while. Day 93, I was finally ready. Take it on yet again. This fight was quite interesting because he angered all the piglins. So it wasn't necessarily hard, I just couldn't hit him because the piglins were on my booty. This dude had every piglin in the nether horrified and just raging after him. But I was able to take him down for the second time, which means 2 nether stars and 2 beacons. That's 1. Got a nice little speed upgrade for my base. But I ran out of ore and I didn't have any. So I figured nether gold would be the fastest strategy, and that's what I did. All of day 94 was spent mining a crap ton of gold. I was in here for a good 20 minutes just mining straight gold. After a while, I finally had enough to make several blocks of gold, and I ended up just placing it inside of my windmill on day 95. Now that looks pretty sick. Chopped down my trees for the final time and made sure they had a very good run. This tree farm got me through the entire game. But I still had some time to kill before the enderdragon, so I ended up making a dock because we're on the middle of the ocean. Why would I not have a dock to put my boats at? I had several boats just laying around the island and I really needed a place to put them. And this dock was coming out spectacularly. I loved every second of building this. It was so fun. A dream even. Life could be a dream. Life could be a dream. Do 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 shaboom. Life could be a dream. If I could take you up a paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom and hope we'll meet again. And it all ding dong, a lang, a lang, a lang. Oh, whoop, whoop. Ba 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 ba. Once that nice dock was finished, I went ahead on day 97 and moved all my boats around the island. Surprisingly, I had several boats to move over. And it came out real nice. I'm real proud of it. At the end of the day, I also swapped out all my torches with a bunch of lanterns because I was really tired of seeing torches around my island. Also gave Daffy a hat. Earlier, when I was gathering all my materials for the dock, I ended up making a load of signs, but I didn't end up using them, so on day 98, I had to finish that off. And once I was done, it was time to make the journey to the end. This water was taking so long to drain, and I accidentally dug a hole in the wall and caused it to come back and take twice as long. I was literally going down this place for like 3 minutes. Day 99, I finally made it to the end fortress and put in my eyes. It was finally over. The Ender Dragon and Wither were both defeated. Let's go. Goodbye, gear. You did me well. Buy paintings. Buy TV. Got this egg right here. Buy egg. Oh, okay, well, egg's gone. I don't know where that went. Buy sword. Buy house. Buy zombie spawners. Buy windmill. Buy Daffy. Buy Daisy. Buy starter house with the piston mechanic. Buy trees. Buy beach. Oh, my buddy Steve. No, Steve. Sorry, Steve. I have to go. I need to leave this island. I've been here too long, man. And I don't see any other way out besides ending it. One last jump on the trampoline. Whee! You know, the journey is over, but that's okay. This world was a lot of fun. Lots of memories were made here. I am very lonely though. There's no one for miles. The closest thing I have is that piglin down there. There was lots of great things learned in this world. There was lots of great builds, lots of great memories. This was a great world altogether. And my time has come to the end now. Wait, what is that sound?
Yeah, baby.
What?
Yo, what's up?
Bro, what are you guys doing here?
We're here to take you back.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, we're playing Minecraft.
Wait, what do you mean you're here to play Minecraft?
Yeah, let's go play Minecraft.
Oh, come on. Guess we're running it back.
Hey, I cannot see myself without you. We go to Vista.